Black women in football. Like, being a woman in football is one thing already, but then being a black woman in football is another thing. He can hear us smacking our lips like as if we're eating chicken. Like, it was such a stereotypical and racist comment to make.
Who was your favorite players growing up for, respective teams? Obviously, you said you supported Bayern and you supported Man United, but was there a different player that you both loved growing up? You said Kanu earlier. Who was it?
Yeah, he wasn't really at my club, but I just loved him because he was Nigerian. But someone from my club that I loved was probably Ronaldo. Growing up, I think I had a crush on him too. Like, I just loved him so much. But yeah, Ronaldo is like the standout player.
For me at my club, it was definitely Drogba, because he was like the African player, was just dominating. But outside of my club, Ronaldinho and Ronaldo R9, the old school Ronaldo, them two, I just used to admire them so much. I think they're mainly the reason why I love football so much, especially because of that 2002 World Cup and the masterclasses they were dropping each game. Yeah, like, it just takes me back down memory lane. They just made me love football so much.
Yeah, no. I got put on that because of my brother. My brother is older than me, and my dad as well. He got me into football, but I didn't really see them in their prime type of thing. I was kind of too young to kind of take it in, but I did see them at the end of their prime and whatnot, and these guys, they were amazing. I think still to this day, both of them who you just mentioned, they would be like the greatest players ever if they just had that. So if Ronaldinho had that discipline and Ronaldo had no injuries, then they would be the best players ever for me. What was your favorite kits growing up? Maybe you liked a certain look on a kit. Maybe it brought back memories for you. What was that kit that you liked?
For me, it's the Chelsea 11-12 kit. And the reason for that is because that's the year we won the Champions League. Funny enough, I even just ordered my vintage Drogba one because I just need that. Yeah, like, I just looking at that shirt here, it just brings back so many memories because everything was going wrong that season, and then we sacked him, and then Di Matteo came in, and we won the FA Cup, and then the Champions League. It was just, yeah, that whole season was just a whirlwind with a lot of emotion. So it just brings back a lot of memories. Then I don't know what season, but every time I see old school pics of Ronaldinho and the Barca kit, that always brings back memories. Like, just that particular kit is so vintage. If I could get it, I would.
Yeah.
For memory's sake.
What about you, Patrice?
Me, I don't actually know what old school kit is my favourite. I remember when we had was it Vodafone as our sponsors? I remember those kits, but honestly, I was too busy paying attention to the actual players' faces.
Yeah, that was the kit that I think that was my first Man United kit as well. So
that was probably my first as well. That's why it's in my head, but I can't remember what year that was.
That was like 2003, 4, I think. Yeah, 5 maybe as well. Yeah, during that time, and then in 2006 they changed. But yeah, no, for me, yeah, probably the same, probably similar kit to that as well. Guys, don't forget to subscribe. I'm on to you guys today. Make sure you subscribe. You could be walking your dog. You could be picking up your kids from school. You could be, just on the train on the way to work. Subscribe, hit the bell, and new videos coming out every single day. Keep you posted. Back to the channel. So let's talk about you guys' channel. Let's talk about the content you guys put on there. Talk to me about it. What is, what's the main summary of the channel?
So we obviously started off with podcasting. So we did that for like the last half of last season. But obviously, people were like, we need to see your faces. We need to actually see what's going on. So that's when we decided to jump on YouTube as well. So essentially, what we do is we upload weekly videos of us discussing games that took place over the weekend. Now we're also creating more segments, which will be all Man United, which Beatrice is hosting. And then we're planning to also have an all Arsenal segment as well, and a Liverpool segment too. So essentially what we're trying to do really is just put a face to the voices that people hear on the podcast as well, and just, branch out into the YouTube community, because there's still so many audiences that we can reach. And I believe that what we're doing is so different, but it's needed. So I think it's like, our YouTube channel we want it to be like an escape for other women out there that watch football and they want to feel like a part of something, just to join and watch. And quite often we bring on guests as well, like guys from other podcasts, just to put them in the hot seat a little bit, since they like to put us women in the hot seat. But yeah, so that's just the whole lowdown of Gold Diggers podcast.
That's sick. I love how you can give it, as good as you can take it. That's good stuff. What would you say is, the one thing that you guys stand out from, apart from being women, of course, but what is the one thing that you stand out ahead of the other podcasters doing similar things to you guys?
I think it's mainly because you said women, but we're Black women in football. Like, being a woman in football is one thing already, but then being a Black woman in football is another thing. Like, as much hate as we get as much scrutiny, and at the same time, especially on Twitter, and there's always the boring old lines like, oh, go back to the kitchen, you don't know what you're saying. But we've just learned to like ignore it, because the hate will always come. And why we're so different is because it's literally like a niche. There's nothing out there like that. If you speak to anyone that's up to date with what's going on socials, and you say, oh, I'm watching this female football podcast, 9 times out of 10 they'll probably say Gold Diggers, because that's literally the only platform that exists that produces that sort of content.
Yeah. And I think you guys you don't notice it now, but you will later, that you're going to inspire a generation full of young girls wanting to do the same thing,
I really hope so.
Yeah, you, along with the other female footballers who are in the FA, WSL, the ones who are now pundits like Alex Scott, also, I forgot her name. What's the one that she's like a presenter, blonde lady? She's on TalkSport. She's another one who's like a big woman, ambassador for football and everything like that. Talk to me about, saying things on a podcast, and potentially it can come back to bite you later, because ultimately, your word is something that, is attached to you, because you have said that, it's come out of your mouth. So talk to me about things that you've said, and potentially it could be wrong in the future and it might come back to bite you. How do you think about that before you speak, Patrice?
You know what? I try not to think about it too much. I just try and do it. It's happened to me already. During the lockdown, when we started, when the football came back on, I said United would win every single game till the end of the season, and that didn't quite happen. We didn't lose any game.
Oh, that was a good prediction, though.
Yeah, no, we didn't lose any games, so we're still unbeaten, but we didn't win all of them. So people like wheeled up like clips of me saying that, and they were like, "Oh, I thought you said this." And I just like, you know what? I hold my hands up. I was wrong, but we're unbeaten. So what are you saying? We came third as well. No one predicted that either, so I had a leg to stand on at least. So that worked. But I just try not to think about it, and it's like, I like it when I just make bold predictions. It's just more interesting and entertaining. And if someone calls me back up on it, I'll hold my hand up, or I'll just give them some smoke back. Like, it is what it is.
Yeah, no, that was a good prediction, because I think Man United had the best form after lockdown. So technically, you weren't capping. You were actually, you actually had a good, opinion there. What about, fan channels? What do you think about other fan channels? Well, you're not a fan channel, but I mean, fan channels who are actually giving their opinions of the game. Technically, you kind of are a fan channel, because you do give opinions about your own teams, but what do you think about fan channels?
I'm a huge fan of Arsenal Fan TV. When there is meltdown, I'm always there for the tears. I think it's a good platform just to create for fans to come on and just to vent what's on their mind. So I'm totally for it.
Yeah. When do you think it goes too far in terms of, you know, them talking about players and everything like that?
I think it would only go too far when they're attacking a player's character. I feel like when you're criticising players, keep it strictly football, talk about their footballing ability. Once it starts getting too personal, then you might be crossing the line. So that's where it goes too far. But if you just stick to the football, then, I mean, everything's fair game from there.
Did you guys watch the Tottenham Amazon documentary? Did you catch any clips or anything?
I saw clips on Twitter, but I didn't watch the whole thing.
I watched half of it. Yeah, it was interesting to see what goes on behind the closed doors. But I found it a bit boring. I really liked the Manchester City one a bit more better.
People had a kind of different opinion. With me, from the Man City one, you got to see more. I'd say more like raw. I don't know how to explain. More raw, like inside the change room, probably. With Tottenham, it was kind of dry inside the change room. Maybe
It
that
felt
was
a bit scripted as well.
Yeah, it was a bit
It
scripted.
probably was.
Yeah.
What made me cringe was when Kane was giving like a pep talk. I couldn't take it seriously.
Yeah. Even me as a footballer, that was something where in the moment, like obviously you're meant to be serious and you're meant to be focused on the game, but if someone did that, I kind of look like around like to see. I wouldn't say nothing at the time, but after the game and say we won, I'd bring that up and I'd be like, "You remember like his team talk? That was a bit funny." that was probably something that was cringeworthy. But no, ultimately I enjoyed it. You got to see, you know, things I already know because I'm a footballer, but you know, other people they might not know behind the scenes and whatnot. You know, trolls. Let's talk about trolls.
Here at FOOTY 258, we're proud to present you with the best football-specific content. We work with many companies and many ballers to give you, the viewers, the best content possible. You, the viewer, we're always looking to help you improve your skill set. In order for you to improve your skill set and for us to keep making these videos, please click the link down below and buy some equipment. The equipment helps us run this channel, and also you subscribing to the channel helps us producing more of these videos to help you with your skill set and your knowledge of the game. Thank you for supporting FOOTY 258.
You know, trolls are a big part of football now. You know, trolls get associated with fans and give fans a bad rap. You know, how do you deal with trolls? You know, I can imagine how many comments you guys must get, probably more than me. So what kind of comments do you get and how do you block that out?
We get loads. Like I remember last year, this guy came on our timeline and he literally said that he can hear us smacking our lips like as if we're eating chicken. Like it was such a stereotypical and racist comment to make. And even when he made that comment, like we just blocked it out because at the end of the day, we are a brand and representing a huge platform as well at the same time. So we've kind of learned to just block it out. Quite often people come in, say, get back to the kitchen, you don't know what you're talking about. And then they try to get personal as well and make comments about our looks as well. So one thing is that we don't condone any of that at all. So we've just learned to ignore it. And I guess, unfortunately, that's just what comes with the sort of thing that we're doing. So it's kind of like become the norm now that even when I see it, I don't even blink an eye. Like I just look the other way because it's nothing new. I just feel like trolls are just losers, and half the time it's someone hiding behind another person's picture, and I just think it's really sad. It's so unnecessary. But that's another thing, like if you're in football you just have to have like a thick skin in it. If you don't have thick skin, then it's a lot to take on.
Yeah.
Even recently on our YouTube videos, we've been getting a lot of comments from people saying, where's the diversity? How come there's no white people here? And it's just like, first of all, you came onto our channel, by the way. What, like, if you don't like it, log off, you know? But you just have to ignore stuff like that and just phase it out.
All right, let's just touch on the fact that you just mentioned, you know, it is a diverse panel. If anything, you know, we're a minority group in the UK, in Germany, places like this. You know, we need channels like this to, you know, inspire the next generation and also people of our generation to create platforms and different streams like this, because you can't just have the same faces on TV, on podcasts, on YouTube, on social media, talking about the same thing, and talking about it from their perspective, you know. Talking about football from a perspective like, say, for example, Rio Ferdinand, you know, I always give him as an example. He can go on BT Sport and he can give you an insight view of how it was to grow up as a young boy like him, you know, in football. Not many people who, you know, are white, middle class, you know, they're not going to grow up like him, you know. They're not going to grow up in a rough area, coming up, you know, trials and tribulations and things like that. So it gives you a different perspective on like what his mindset is, and, you know, of the mindset of people who look like us. And it's good that what you guys are doing. So whoever's saying about it's not diverse enough, it is, you know, it's different to anything that you see. So yeah, and to touch on the trolls, correct me if I'm wrong, are the trolls, do they have profile pictures?
Most of the time they don't.
So, you know, someone who's saying that, who doesn't even have a profile picture of themselves, it just says that they're a coward, right? What about the guys, I don't know if it's women as well who are criticizing you guys, what about them who actually have profile pictures? Do you feel like you really want to, you know, say something back to it?
When we just started, yes, but now I honestly don't care, because it's just like, at the end of the day, we're still winning, we're still going strong, we're gonna get bigger, so so like, I really don't care. Like when we first started, I always had the urge to like go back and forth with someone, but I just feel like we're completely above that now. Like absolutely. Like before, if someone like tried to make a sexist comment towards anyone on within our group, we'd all camp in that person's mentions. Like, what do you think you're doing? And we would report every tweet, we get onto them. They even end up deactivating. But now it's just like, we ain't got time for that. We're too big for all of that. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, I always say those people, they're looking for, you know, remember, they look at you on YouTube and what you're doing and everything like that, and you think, oh, wow, like, I wish I could be doing that, you know, I wish people would give, you know, about what I'm actually saying and my opinion, my tweets ain't getting no likes, they're not getting no retweets. I wish people could care about what I'm actually saying. So why do people gravitate towards these females talking about football? Wow, you know, it's a men's game type of thing. That's what they're thinking. So, you know, keep doing what you're doing, and you know, I think the results will tell in the future. Also, comments on YouTube. Do you tend to block them? Do you tend to like just leave them there? What was your policy on that with your channel?
Every time I see any hate comments, they instantly get blocked and deleted. I don't want to see such negativity on my platform. I think it's probably because we're still at a point where I can control how many comments we get. But I feel like once we're at a stage where we get loads of comments, it's going to be a mix of everything. I'll just leave the people in the comments to battle with those that are being racist or whatever, because you always have those people that have time in the comments, innit? But right now, I try to moderate it as much as I can, because I just don't like seeing it at all.
For more content like this, like, share and subscribe.